What is happening, my gurus? I hope everybody had a good festive season and a great festive weekend. I just thought I'd pick this up with a bit of an overview on the long term. As I promised over the weekend, I'm just going to do basically a little bit of a short term, medium term outlook so that everybody can sort of see where we're going and that none of this is foreign as it goes along. It also will just help us from, just sort of prevent us from guessing. Of course, nobody can tell the future. I do not have a crystal ball as much as I'd love to say I do. But yeah, it's going to be good to just look at sort of the higher time frame, see where we're going, get a bit of perspective, zoom out, have a look at where the chart's going, and then sort of start building up a little bit of a thesis. Again, I don't like having sort of opinions on where things are going. I also don't like guessing too much. I'd rather just look at the data, take it as it comes, and see what's happening without emotions, because obviously everybody's pumping a lot of emotions into this market. It's a lot of fear and greed. Now it's obviously we're switching. There's getting a bit more confidence into the market. The retail have actually brought the confidence back into the market, which is quite fantastic because it looks like we might actually just get some good targets before the end of this month. Have the monthly candle close, give us maybe a bullish close on the monthly, and then look forward to a nice bullish January with a solid spike towards the end of January, which could be fantastic. I will show you exactly what I mean and what I'm seeing at the moment. Cool. So if we just hop into the charts here, we're obviously looking at the weekly time frame up top here, and as you know, each one of these candles represents a 7-day time frame. We're now seeing the weekly pullback. So if everybody remembers, a couple of weeks ago I discussed how every new candle prints a pullback before continuing in the pattern or in the direction that it was going to begin with. So last week we had a massively bullish candle. That's this one over here. That's this one over here. And this week, we're now seeing a slight pullback of the new candle. Obviously, with it being Monday, we're seeing a pullback, and I do see us getting above here during the week. So basically what we're looking at here, this band that you're seeing over here is known as the bull market support band. This is the name of the indicator. You can add it to your own charts. It's basically, first of all, don't look at the bull market support band in anything less than sort of like the weekly time frame. A really high time frame is better, even the monthly, but weekly is just fine. Daily could also be a good indicator of where we're at. But basically what we want to do is we want to make sure that we're always above the bull market support band. As you can see what happened here, just look at what previously happened. So if I'm not mistaken, I think this was the beginning of last year. You can see that we had a really strong push. This would have been the Tesla 1.5 billion buy. That took us up to about, I think, February, March last year. And then we saw this massive bullish spike. Then what happened was we came back down to test it. And this was the first time testing the bull market support band since leaving the bull market support band at the end of last year. And then obviously it gave us this massive bullish spike. We then obviously collapsed below the bull market support band, and then what would have happened was on the daily candles you would have seen it test and be rejected from the bull market support band into the range area. We then came through, pierced the bull market support band. We came and tested it. We bounced off, and this is where everybody was convinced that we were going for the all-time high. This is when you would have heard that Plan B 100K prediction type thing, and that was obviously pumping a lot of confidence and greed into the market, which gave us this massive spike that we have here. And then it came back down here. Many traders thought that we were just going to test it and continue up and out. But obviously, unfortunately, that proved not to be the case. So we've now come back below. Unfortunately, we do have to reclaim this bull market support band for us to be considered in any sort of a bull rally, bull run, whatever you want to call it. As it stands now, we are unfortunately still in the range market. We do have a much better outlook and a bit more confidence in the market, but we're still in this range. When I say range, I'm talking about this sort of up and down pattern. And what we want to be looking for is we want to be pushing up above here. We want to confirm the bull market support band underneath us, and then obviously continuing up and out. So that's pretty much on the higher time frame, and that indicator is covering the bull market support band. I now want to just quickly take a look at the daily chart with some of the moving averages that we've covered now at length, and we can obviously see that the death cross that happened over here, which was when the red crossed down below the blue, is now no longer a concern. In fact, we've actually had the opposite, which would be considered maybe a golden cross. Unfortunately, it won't be a golden cross when the red crosses the blue going up, but it is a very bullish sign. Once we get the red to now cross these ones and carry on up, that's when I will be a lot more bullish, and that's probably when we'll see the bull market support band help us to confirm that sort of bullish bias in the market. So it's going to just be pretty much a waiting game. We're obviously getting a lot of support from this 200 MA moving average line. So there's tons of support around there, which is quite fantastic. I don't see us dropping lower and having to head down again to those areas, which is great. I mean, I think that in terms of a general outlook, you can see why the confidence is back in the market. So pretty much we're just going to have to follow the market, keep following the higher time frames, keep seeing where we're going, and then obviously take it as it comes. What I'm going to do now is just in the more short term, let's just have a look at the 4-hourly and get down into the patterns that we've got going. Let me just turn off these other indicators right over here. And basically, if we can just look at the 4-hourly chart, so now you can actually see sort of what's happened since breaking out of the wedge. Sorry, let me quickly just change this rising trend line. So basically what I've got here is I've got this rising trend line. It seems to be respecting it. The only thing is we generally get around 3 tests of a line like this before either, exploding upwards or having it break down. So there's your first test. Here's your second test. We might get the third test around here. I'd like to see it move a little bit further up from here. It would be great. We're probably going to meet some heavy resistance here around 53k, 53.5 potentially. But I do think that this trend line could hold us quite nicely. You guys can obviously see that there is now a range market that we could also be in, which is fine because it's still bullish and we're above, sort of the problematic areas. But I would like to see a bit more of a sentimental push up here, a little bit more confidence in the market, maybe a couple more, retail whales sort of getting in and buying and engaging. Whether it's through the festive season or not, I'm not too sure. But obviously, once the 1st, 2nd of January comes around, which is going to be around here-ish, yeah. So around here, and this is why I've sort of got this bullish spike here, because the beginning of the year, the offices will open and they will start giving us that Q1 pump that we've been waiting for. Again, it's not guaranteed. I don't have a crystal ball, but I do sort of see that coming. This red line here is going to be a doozy. It's definitely going to provide us with some strong resistance, much like we saw here between 51 and 52K. It's going to be quite an area of concern, especially if we're going to come and touch it around here in the beginning of Jan. But let's see what happens. I mean, we could also, sort of pierce right through it with the sort of institutional bank FOMO that might happen around these areas. That could take us up and then sort of into the old bull market area, which was where we were developing before we had sort of the late November crash. So you can see this is a very much an accumulation distribution situation. So now we're in distribution, we'll go up back into accumulation, and I think that when we do go back up into accumulation, we're going to see 70k quite soon and quite easily and quite aggressively as well. And it could be here somewhere around 17th, 20th of Jan, my birthday. So let's hope the banks get that one right. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to start covering some altcoin charts. It's obviously just a lot of charting for me to do, but I am quite happy to do that just to sort of give us all a solid outlook on some of my favorite alts. If you do have any questions and any alts that you want to know the charts on, you can always just pop me a thing in the chat and I will be more than happy to do a bit of a chart analysis on any of the alts that you guys dig. Cool. Otherwise, if anyone has any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a stellar day and a stellar week and a very, very bullish end of the year. I'll see you guys in the chat.